Hey peeps, welcome to Pips Prints 3D, and today I'm going to take you through the programs I'm using for my 3D printing. So first off, as you see here, we have Autodesk Fusion 360. I think it's just called Fusion 360 these days. And this is what I use for my 3D modeling and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll go up here and I'll show you the basics. So you usually start from a sketch and you pick a plane. So I always pick the bottom one because I like to sketch from above. So we'll do a simple box, and if you click on here you can actually do it from different areas, so like a center rectangle. So we'll do that and we'll go say 100 by 200. There you go. And you've got your measurements on there, and then you can simply finish the sketch, puts you back into 3D mode. You click on the plane. I'm starting to use shortcuts a bit more, so if you hit E for extract, and then you see you can drag your box up or down underneath the plane. So if you go up, say 20, hit OK, that is now giving you a 3D rectangle. Now you can do all sorts of stuff with this sort of thing. So if I go back to create again, click on the top of the rectangle. Let's just do a circle. My PC is lagging a wee bit in a minute if you notice with the cursor. It didn't used to, I don't know why it suddenly started. And we'll draw a circle. Now you can do construction lines too, so if you're planning something out, you can actually do the construction lines on there, plan it all out, and then come in and do your proper lines as well and get them sorted. So there, now you see it's separated them two parts. So if I hit that and do extract again, I can either go up, and over there you can see you can join it, intersect it, a new body, or you can go down as far as you need and it'll cut. Now that'll cut a nice hole out of that rectangle. And you've got your inspect tools and construction tools and that sort of stuff. But I'll show you one of my designs. So these are the ones I'm working on at the minute, which you've probably seen. There's a lot of V2s and V3s. That's all my different designs there, like. So these are my vehicle plaques that you see on my channel as well. These are the version 2s. So they've got rounded edges. That helps with the lifting of the corners, because they were starting to peel a wee bit. And then if we look on the back here, let's just get this the right way around. Whoop, whoop. We've got the keyholes there too, for actually mounting them. Now when printing, they're a bit difficult to clean out. I don't know whether I'm going to try and think of a different way of doing that, but they're not too bad. But this this is the sort of thing you can do. Now this is what do you call, like an SVG, you know, that sort of stuff, printing out and whatnot. But I will show you something what you can do and fully design it yourself. So let's load this up. So this is, hide the sketches. This is a wrestling table, all laid out, that I fully designed myself in this program. There are slots for magnets. There are slots to go together for stability and stuff like that. And this is basically for your wrestling figures. So this bit here, you can pull that off and beat the heck out of your wrestling figures with it, and then put them through the table, and because of the magnets and stuff, it will separate like you see on the TV. I've actually sold a couple of these at the minute on Etsy. One's in America and one is in Scotland. As you see, there's a bit of a design there too. I'm actually trying to design ones that can have LEDs in there. With the new, well not new, but the wee, what do you call them, filament lights. But yeah, your imagination is your only, limitation at the minute for this. And these are for the boys, like, so there's that. And there is, let's see, I don't know what my WWE table. Could do with sorting all these out, actually. I have too much stuff in here. So this is one of those wrestling tables that you see. But the trouble I find with them is the clips get loose after a while of playing with them. And they won't stand up. You put a wrestler on to put him through it and it breaks and stuff easy. So again, these are done with magnets. They shouldn't get weak. They should always hold it together. And they break easily. It's a little bit thicker, obviously, than the normal ones. But again, sat there, looked at their designs and just tweaked and made them a bit better. And then when you've done all that, you go to your file and you will export it. And I always export as an STL file. And then when you've done that, you'll go on to use my next program. So I'll show you that in a sec. So this is the program for the Elegoo Centuri Carbon and most of the other Elegoo stuff. This is their Elegoo slicer. So this is when you've exported your STL file. This is where you're going to import it. As you see here, there's a few files that I actually have done and saved. There's a few for ironing test, your 3D print test for your Z-off access, which I actually had to do the other day. And other bits and bats, some Christmassy stuff still hanging around here. But what I'll do is I'll load up one of my files here. So this is the Capri file I showed you before. So as it colours it all in one colour, it's a little hard to see, but there you go. So that's the file imported. Now up here you've got loads of different things. You can auto arrange stuff, auto orientate. You can resize it. This is actually 80% the size of the original. I do shrink it down a wee bit because it is pretty large when I do them, and this size is about right. You can break things up if you import something that has a lot of bits to it. You can actually separate the bits, so it's a lot easier. Over here you have all your different settings for your layer heights and that. Most of it I just leave alone because you can select what filament you're using. So your PLAs, your silks, your Rapid Plus and all that sort of stuff has quite a few. Elegoo haven't added anybody else's, which is a little disappointing, because a lot of the other slices like Bamboo and that do have other people's or other manufacturers' stuff in there. But you can tweak these to how you like. I'm going to do them tests that you saw before and then make notes of them all and get them all sorted. Click over here, you can change your wall loops and your strengths and all that sort of stuff. You've got your supports. Now I have supports for in here. Mainly I would use tree supports, but because this is flat on the surface like that, you can't actually do them on this. So when you've got it in, you've got it orientated, you've got everything separated as you want it, you hit your slice plate. Now this is generating the G code. So this is what basically tells it to layer upon layer upon layer of filament. So this has a wee brim around it, and you can see all these lines are the tracks that the head is going to go. And if I pull this down here to the right, you can actually see every single layer. So there's the honeycomb interior, or the crosshatch interior. There's the supports for inside the keyhole lock, right down to layer 1, so that's the first layer it's going to do. So if you see here, I've got a pause in it at layer 94. So as you see there, there's 2 layers of the Capri and the logo already done. So that pause, the machine's going to pause. I'll swap the filament over, and that gives me the black on white, because it's only a single colour filament machine, and then it'll carry on the rest of that in white. This one's not too bad, it has the seam on the side there, but you can change that as well in the options. So this is all your G code here. That is actually above my head. It tells you how long it's going to be. It tells you how long it'll take to prep the print, how much filament you're going to use, which isn't a lot, to be honest. Like 85 grams is quite good. And then if you put the price of the filament in per kilo, it'll tell you actually how much it is to print. Up here gives you your inner walls, your outer walls, all colour coded, and it's really, really handy like that. Now you can go into the settings over here and help change things, like your Z distances. You can change things for your supports, they're easier to snap off and stuff like that. It just takes a bit of playing with, just to get it down to how you like the prints to be. Here you can change the optimal printing size of the filament, so 0.2, really fine 1.2, just to get a really high detail and stuff like that. But I usually just leave it as standard, to be fair. It's the easiest way of doing it. And you can do it either global like this or per object, so you can adjust everything by object if you have a number of them on there. I mainly use the textured side of the plate, but you can change that. Mine isn't actually letting me do it at the minute for some reason, but because I've already set this. But if you go back to the prepare, strange. I might not have set it up for that side. You do have to set it up for both plates, you see, so I might not have done that for this, because this has been updated and I had to redo a few more things. But yeah, it's dead simple. If you want to start a new one, you go File, New Project. Nope, not save anything. And this is what it'll present you with at the beginning. So you go File, Import, STL. That's it. I have just loads of stuff on here for different things. Christmas stuff I've done, like my designs are in here, loads of different things. Let's just chuck on the legs for the wrestling tables. There you go. And it'll chuck them on there, and then you can move them around. Whoops. And you can shift them around, add more, shrink it, spin it around, auto orientate, all that sort of stuff. And then when you spliced it, it'll tell you to print, and it'll send it to the machine. Or you can actually, these days, you'll start printing straight away. There's a couple of options you can select. So yeah, that's the 2 programs I use at the minute. I've messed with Blender a wee bit in the past, because it's free and it's a really powerful 3D modeling thing. I haven't used it for this yet. I did design a couple of pickup trucks and cars back in the day with that, and some spaceships and that for PlanetSide, but I haven't used it for this. It was years and years ago. But Fusion 360 and this are the best ones. The Fusion 360 I have is a non-commercial one. You can buy it for commercial use. It's a couple of £100, I think, so it's not too bad, to be honest. But I just use the free one at the minute. And yeah, that's the 2 programs I'm using, guys. If you have any suggestions for any more, chuck them down below and I'll take a nosy. If you like what you've seen, please give a thumbs up, please hit subscribe, please hit that wee bell. I'll let you know when other things are coming to the channel. And if you want to help support me, guys, there is a link down below for Elegoo as well. It's an affiliate link. If you need any Elegoo stuff, give it a click, and that will be much appreciated and very helpful. Again, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.